Hello and welcome to the fifth and final part regarding the buy orders that I am looking to place regarding the following codes. So I am placing many codes. Try to get as many deals as I can. I know I'm not going to get many. I expect to get some, and it hasn't been any as of yet that have hit, but it's only been about 24 plus hours since I started placing these orders. And I do expect some to place, but I'm going long on Bitcoin on all orders not placed. When I feel Bitcoin momentum looks like it's going to stop, then I will be pulling most of the sell or buy orders to actually buy stuff. In the morning, I will be going over this Bitcoin chart. It's a really interesting one. I love how it's playing out, and this is a resistance from before, so it's just breaking it, just leaving the band, and there's that 4,000-ish area up there. It's going to be so fun to cover that, but that's not for tonight. No. Let's continue on with this list of coins, starting with Syscoin, and I'm looking to get in around 2100. When I look at this on a daily time frame and take this low and the high, the conventional 38.2% down mark is roughly around here. Well, it's at 23. So I would roughly look to get in and around that point as a place to put a buy order in. Chrono Bank Time, TIME. I like the floors on here. You got this floor at the 10 number. You have this floor at the 9 and then a floor at the 8. And based on this level being at around 9, well, the next bottom, I'm guessing, should be in and around 8. If you want to take a little bit of a chance, you can go up here above, maybe try to scoop in a 78 high or a 79 handle. But I think if this moves down around here, should be a good spot to try to get a buy order in. TKN, or token card, is in this bear market. So why do I want to go long on this? Well, I got this double hit bottom in here within this resistance level, so I can calculate Fibonacci downside in at the area of around 34, or exactly 34.57 ballpark. So I got 34 low as the spot where I'll look to try to pick a bottom. TOKS, or TKS, has just this data, but this low, this high, Fibonacci downside gives me a number at around 2708. So roughly around 27, and that coincides with this previous low. I'll put a buy order there. TRST is trust, again with limited data. But if you pull some highs and lows, you'll see a range a little north of 7,800 and a little south of 12,000, which has a down target around 6,140, which coincides in here, which is where I'll put a buy order in the area of the low 6,000 handle. TX, or transfer coin, it's one of those charts that you look at it quickly, you just know what to do. Oh, what happens if this area falls? Where's it going to go? Well, this resistance was support. Well, how about this one? Yeah, that's where I'm buying. UBQ, UBIC, it's I got a couple handles, but nice looking chart overall. However, after this nice sideways range, we can see it's starting to potentially fall apart. Well, what I'm looking at is this low and this high, and a 38% down correction in around 93.46. So I'll be looking to buy around this 9,000 handle. But this support was not really in this area. So you might be tempted to play around with this 11 number, and it doesn't make sense for there to be, or it wouldn't be a surprise if there you get at least a decent pop from there. But given how strong I want to be holding Bitcoin at this time, I'm not going to settle for this number. I'm settling for 9,000 and change. Unobtainium, I probably pronounced that a little off. Taking Fibonacci from here, this high to this low, and it looks like it's breaking down as well. I have a number in at around 4,800 on the downside. And if we look at it, well, it's already been there once before. However, it's still a play to reach the previous bottom. However, if you want to look towards another spot where it's been, you'd be looking more towards a much deeper bottom or deeper buy in at around 25. VIA or Viacoin. Within this one, I'm just going to play the simple downside Fibonacci from the low and the high, which gives me a number roughly at around 9,600. If I look down here, it's good. However, oftentimes I'm going to override two previous resistance, which also matches in with this low. So around 8,700 area. VTC is Vertcoin. Vertcoin. I think vert means green in French. I might be wrong. However, another situation where if this area breaks down, you got this previous area here that was resistance in the end of March, and it was the support resistance area in April, which also spans back to a couple levels in here. I think that's a pretty good spot. You could also even consider a lower one in here, but I'm going with this one here. Pretty strong key number area. VTR is VTorrent, and I bought some right now at this exact price, or a few minutes ago, hours ago at this exact price. This thing looks like it's ready to break out at this stage. And I don't usually buy at these market prices unless I'm very unconfident that I can buy cheaper, at least for any significant good deals. It's been holding this resistance, and I mean, what am I going to get for a deal here? Down towards here? Obviously, if this breaks out, it's a failed move. But this is the pattern that I'm looking for. Resistance, or this level of resistance breaks out, have another spark, okay, now you're holding within this level, but short term you can see it breaking out. When you adjust it to an hourly time frame, you can see it's very low volume, so you can only lead so much and play so much into it. But from what I see here, the sideways moves, goes down, a little bit of an up move, starting to break out, so I'm kind of liking the buy here. If you want to get in a little bit cheaper, down towards this mark here. Short term, big difference, 8,900 down to 75. So that's a 1,400 basis point difference. So I got a little bit now, and I'm going to be trying to get also in at this point as well. Waves is the next one, WAVES. And what a beautiful pattern this is. Well, I don't know what side it's going to break down to, but if it happens to break down to the downside, my Fibonacci calculator was telling me in the area of around the 52.5 mark. And when it coincides with a level like this, I'm going to be putting a buy order at not the 62 number, but yeah, down here. Down here I'm putting buy orders in. XLM is Lumen. And it had a nice little bullish run, broke resistance, and flew to the upside, breaking from 433 Satoshi up to about 4,000. That's about an 8-9x gain. In a sense, had this little bit of a consolidation pattern. Within the consolidation pattern, well, if you're looking to bet on strength and you see movements around here, you can look out. But as far as some levels, well, 1050 in here, this area previous low, a lot of them I've been overlooking within all this analysis of close to 100 different codes. But Usually I don't when I look at most charts, especially when they're bullish, and this is one of those examples. If it happens to go down here, it's not uncommon for another second wave of profit-taking sellers to come in. Because if this thing is real, then this would oftentimes be a great spot where it would bottom and you could put a play in. So therefore, I'm going to be looking down towards this mark in here as the area in which I want to buy. A little over 1,000. Stealth coin XST. Normally a chart this stocky or choppy, very difficult trade, other than maybe trying to take a shot at this low. That's going to be tough. But in the hourly time frame, I got a nice little look. And as we bring it up, here we have it. If this thing falls, you're probably looking to go in towards this previous area. So I look at around 800 in the middle of this range as a decent spot to place a buy order. And as we can see, it looks like it's breaking down right now. So 800, I like a buy order for. ZCL, if I didn't already have tokens, would be something I'd be probably looking to get into. I really do hate situations where I want to get into something and it's hard to buy, but it's easier for me because I already bought earlier. Not many, but I want to get more. However, something you might want to look to consider buying now or for better strength exposure, because it's been making a nice, beautiful run. However, basic Fibonacci from this low and this high, which is the range of 35 and 60, brings the number to 25. So 2,500 coinciding with this resistance, this support. That's where I'd be looking if, of course, it breaks down. But this has got a nice bullish setup right now, and that is the final one and the final part of the series as I've chronologically went through a bunch of these charts. This was a lot of work. You know what? This needs to be done, because when you see the situations where you know Bitcoin's looking to go higher, a lot of the markets are rolling over. There's nothing wrong with holding Bitcoin. But I would like to see 6, 7, maybe 8 of these orders come through. And I can only put small amounts on each one because I've got like 90 or 80 or so orders already in place from these 5 parts. Quite a few in play. And I'd be surprised if none of them come in, but some of them probably will. And this will give me chances to get, a lot of them will be big time gains of, it could be 20, 50, 100% for some of them, because with the volatility that you can be getting, like in a situation here, if you buy at 25, well, this one here is something I want to go long for a while. So I would buy at 25, probably look to sell a little bit at around 38, maybe a third of it at 38. And if I sell at 38, I want to buy it back. And then sell near this high, same thing, wanting to buy it back another third, and then keep another third for the post highs. That's the type of strategy for something I want. Now, a lot of these other ones is little scalps where I'll buy something and then I'll put a couple sell orders. Maybe I'll sell 61.8% up and then the previous high, or I'll sell the 38.2, or maybe I'll just sell everything at its next key point, which is sometimes like here, I buy here, and then I'll sell everything up here as an example. All right, so thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great night.